Welcome back to another edition of Research Fantasy presents our MLB DFS hitter picks for Tuesday, April 25th. 8 months until Christmas. You'll hear me say that on the 25th of every month moving forward. I'm your host, Nick from CWE, and I'm here to bring you my top 3 favorite hitters for tonight's slate of baseball. And this is going to be an interesting one. I'm always a big fan of the conundrum you run into when you have both Kershaw and Coors on the same slate. Because, hey, 12 runs at Coors, we've seen the Rockies especially putting up runs over the past few games in Coors, so it's really hard to look past it and say, well, hey, we'll just get bats somewhere else. But to me, I'd rather take the safety at pitcher because you only get one pitcher. Yes, you only get one third baseman, but you also get 8 other hitters to go around them. So if you can't hit your pitching, then the hitting might not go as far as you want it to. Last night was a fairly good example of Amir Garrett, who was just absolutely shelled against the Brewers. And I had him in a lot of lineups, believe me, I did. But in my article and on the podcast, I made it be known, like, good side of things, Brewers strike out at a 30% rate against lefties. Bad side of things, the Brewers are killing lefties. So it was one of those risk situations, and the reward was not there this weekend, or last night, rather. So, going to be an interesting way to figure out how to put together your lineups tonight. Me personally, like I said, I am definitely focusing on putting Kershaw in my lineups, finding a few key bats to kind of build up so that you can get Kershaw in your lineup and not feel totally out of the realm of possibility of competing. So let's dive right in here, and I'm going to try to keep everything under 3K, so I'm doing a little looking as we go along here. I'm going to go back to the well with someone, and I'm going to count him today because it's been a while since he's gotten a start, and I think that maybe we'll see him. No, of course it wasn't a while since he got a start. Why would it be? He only starts on Sundays. Anyway, I guess I won't count him, but Allen Cordoba against the lefty is something I still want a piece of. I'm hoping at some point that the team kind of sees his potential for hitting against left-handed bats and puts him in the lineup at 2K. He makes a guy that I would absolutely jump in on with Kershaw on the mound. 2K is going to really help you out today a lot. So I'm going to keep things under 3,500. Let's start off. Let's get a catcher out there. Let's go with Jett Bandy, 2,800. Hasn't been a consistent everyday catcher, so it's going to be tough whether they opt to go with he or Manny Pena. But Bandy hitting well at the plate. We saw this happen last year too with the Angels, where he would go through a few streaks for a couple of games where he just put together good outings. 4 home runs, 6 RBIs on the season. 2,800, a little bit on the expensive side, but if you're putting up home runs like that in limited action, it's something you have to look into. I'm not a believer in Scott Feldman. I think he's a good pitcher. An average pitcher would be a more accurate description. And this is an offense that's rolling right now. It's an offense that plays in a hitter's park. And I know that Feldman does too. I'm not trying to say that this is a swing like going from Dodger Stadium to Miller Park. But I think that this is a situation where the Brewers are going to rake again tonight. Give me some Jett Bandy at his price. I think he's a good bet to really help us get to the point here where we can have a nice output for his price. Next up, let's go to the shortstop position. I really like Taylor Motter, 3,200. It's going to take 2 guys, I'm thinking, under 2,500 in your lineup to get the average cost to be around 3,200 for your remaining hitters. Seattle, a team I want to target today, taking on Jordan Zimmerman, who looks like he's hit the tail end of his career, just looks awful on the mound right now. Motter does not look awful. Motter is doing some pretty special things. Are they sustainable or not? Who knows? He's got 5 home runs, 12 RBIs. I just find the Seattle team to be a place I want to go to tonight. I think we could get some strong upside plays out of him there, and he'll be someone I certainly want to have some exposure to tonight. And I'm going to tell you what, I can't do that. I went to that game already. I guess I'm just going to give my favorite play. He's a little more expensive at $3,900. He's not quite Coors expensive, but really tough to not look at Eugenio Suarez right now from the Cincinnati Reds at $3,900. Zach Davies getting shelled pretty well right now. The Miller Park doesn't help him at all because it's plays to the hitters so nicely. Suarez is just a guy who's hitting .343, 5 home runs, 12 RBIs. Obviously, you're not expecting him to stay at that pace, but if he sees a full season, there's no reason he can't hit 30 home runs. The .343 is definitely going to be something that comes down, but we don't care about the rest of the season. All we really care about is tonight, and tonight I think he's in a good spot to come through with some production against Zach Davies. Should be hitting somewhere between 4th and 6th in the lineup, depending how it pans out. Duvall most likely to hit 4th. I'm thinking Suarez probably sits in 6th before Zach Cozart. That'll wrap it up. Our top 3 hitters: Jett Bandy, Taylor Motter, Eugenio Suarez. I know that I haven't really given you big name guys, but we have to try to fit Kershaw in. I firmly believe that that's the route to go tonight. Thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel below. Head over to researchfantasy.com. Sign up for our MLB mailing list. Like us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Research and Win. And join us again tomorrow.